Greetings, fellow Blind Matt Murdock. I'm Blind Matt Murdock here.
And BlueDragonFive.
Oh, I was hoping you'd be like, and I'm also Blind Matt Murdock. Tiki here, BlueDragonFive. How you doing, BlueDragonFive, tonight? Because I was too lazy to pull up the intro for Discerning Daredevil, we are just going to be Discerning Daredevil. Yes, because Excelsior and all that, and Hell's Kitchen and Blind and haha. Oh boy, BlueDragonFive. This looks so promising based on the two trailers we've got. Of course, the only thing we've known about Daredevil Season 2 so far is basically, well, Punisher and Elektra. And so, therefore, in that regard, I think it was brilliant for them to market this season the way they did. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I mean, just going into it completely blind, like it was like, pardon the pun, it's very similar to how we went with Daredevil first, except we had no idea what was coming our way, because we only frame reference we had for Daredevil in live action was the Affleck movie, and that was kind of what we held as to, well, you know, the regular cut of that movie is pretty impressive, but I'm sure this is like going for some very different, very comic space. It's going to be impressive. We still have no idea what we're looking at, but that's very exciting. And when we got that, it was just completely blew us away. And then they captured lightning in a bottle twice with the marketing, and that we're in the exact same situation. We only have two trailers to go off on, and a logo in the case of the first one. In this case, we have just the knowledge that we're getting Punisher and Elektra and those two trailers, really.
Right. So I guess without further ado, do you want to just jump right in? What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Punisher trailer, take a look at the Elektra trailer, which the Elektra trailer, yeah, sounds like I'm saying electric, but I swear to God, I'm trying to say Elektra.
But it is kind of electric.
Yeah, electric. That just dropped today, correct?
Yes.
So that is very fresh. So we will first take a look at the Punisher, then Elektra, and then we'll do kind of some freeform spec at the end, kind of make this a nice quick show. So what do you say, BlueDragonFive? Let's take a look at the Punisher trailer, part 1. All right. Share. You got that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead and full screen. And so, as you can see, we start on the castle mailbox. Very ominous. I think they're definitely going to see the origin of the Punisher, you know, like kind of the inciting incident, and I think it'll be brutal. Do you think this might start the whole season, that inciting incident?
Well, actually, it's very interesting you bring that up, Tiki. One of my theories for the Punisher in this season is that it's going to be not the. I'm sure we'll get a flashback at some point, just kind of doing like a psychological thing inside Punisher's head, seeing the murder constantly.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think it's, you know, kind of like Jessica Jones with the the Kilgrave incident, kind of like that, but for Frank Castle. But what I think they're going to do with this thing right
is
here
there going to be a fun catchphrase like Jessica?
Oh, we'll see.
Kind of harder. Well, I mean, Jessica Jones was a very grim situation, and they managed to get a fun catchphrase out of it. So I don't know. We'll see what they do with Frank Castle.
My point is, with the shots like this, I think you're not far off with an opening with this scene. But what I predict is that it's going to be the Punisher kind of coming off the fresh wound of his family's death. And
okay.
It's still like very, very disturbed, very off his game. Just kind of still, it's like basically first season when Daredevil was coming to his own. Frank Castle, like, I guess like midway through where Daredevil was, his family was murdered, and he's just kind of is grieving at that point. Then he's going to find he hears the news about this vigilante figure, and he's going to think, well, wait a minute, I can direct my anger in doing something constructive like this guy. So that's how I think it's going to go personally.
All right, so we see pictures of his family, and of course we all know how that turns out.
His daughter.
Is this anything from the comics? This 1-batch, 2-batch book?
Nothing. I'm not a huge Punisher guy. I've read some Punisher I like. I enjoy the Punisher I have read, but you know, I don't recall any particular details. They're a little liberal with kind of all the little details about.
Because this definitely feels like something that's like, it almost feels like the thing that Jessica repeats in her head. You know, the street address.
Right, right.
So I'm thinking like maybe Punisher would be like 1-batch, 2-batch, just to kind of keep the memory of his daughter in his head. I don't know. That's just kind of a general theory.
I wonder, you know, actually with the picture of the daughter, it makes me wonder if they're going to have both kids or not, because it was a wife and 2 kids.
Right.
One's Frank Jr. and the other one's a girl. I think sometimes they go with Lisa, sometimes they change. I'm pretty sure it's Lisa, though.
Mm.
But, yeah, we'll see. That might be a little interesting change with that.
I love the music.
Yeah, the music's very creepy, very ominous. He sees gearing up for something, all those guns. We might get a little microchip reference with who got him the guns, kind of like Weasel from Deadpool. Essentially, that's Microchip's role as he was in the Punisher Warzone movie, which is an underrated movie.
I still need to see that one. I've heard it's very underrated.
I mean, I know you don't have the time, but I mean, at some point, it'd be nice.
No, I don't have the time right now. Yeah,
because I think Marvel deep down wanted that movie to be accepted so they can keep doing Punisher movies, but it didn't go that way.
I think this is a great direction for Punisher right now, though. So
yeah, don't get me wrong.
This is a file that would make Walter White blush. All right. Oh yeah.
Very disturbing here. Is like after we see the castle and everything, there's this really creepy lighting on the carousel coming up here. La da 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 da.
Lights turn out. It's like a Tim Burton movie. It's like a good Tim Burton movie.
I think they're gonna go for something symbolic with it, like him putting to bed kind of the last vestiges of his family. That's like the last good memories he has. He's visiting the place.
Okay, now he's transitioned to Matt. He's like father.
That shot's very important. What you have on right now. This is hinting
this
at
right here.
Yes.
Okay.
That's hinting at Matt's mother.
Okay. Okay.
Who had that little I want to say it's Maggie, but I can't remember what his mother's name was. But she they hinted at like, oh, that's a story for another time. Well, I think that's hints at that story coming to pass because she was like a sister nun. She was a nun.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Wasn't she secretly in the orphanage or something like that?
Yes, and the idea, like again, I don't know the details, but it was basically this. She was like she was watching over Matt through the church, but she was watching over him as a nun.
Okay, yeah, I see it. I see it.
And there's Father Latham, if I'm remembering that correctly, and
no, it's Father Creel.
So the awesome line that Matt has opened this with is like, "Father, why do I still feel guilt? Guilt means you feel your work's not finished."
Oh yeah. And what do you think? Is this guy like Catholic Gordon?
I'll remember. Gordon's kind of a mix of because since they got rid of Ben Urich, we have a mix of the father and Brett Mahoney are kind of like the two Gordons divided. Or
Mahoney definitely, I can see that for sure.
Okay. Mahoney's just kind of like the like by the book kind of Gordon, like off the page, like okay, well he's a competent priest and gives him information, but Latham's kind of the emotional.
Exactly. Like I feel like Mahoney shares kind of the same function as Gordon.
Yeah.
But Latham is more kind of like the heartfelt dynamic of like, Batman and Gordon.
Latham brings the conversation, and he brings he also has a lot of Alfred in him too. Like he's that kind of that one person that Matt Murdock can definitely kind of talk to without worrying about anything.
All right, well, excuse us, folks. Every show we do, we have to make a Jim Gordon comparison of some kind.
Right. Okay, let's see. So Mahoney here, he's relaying the news that there's a new player in Hell's Kitchen, or at a crime scene. The shooter is tracking gangs to their home turf and taking them out with military precision, with knowledge and hardware, with enough knowledge and hardware to take out half of the city. There's no messing around with this guy. You can see the Punisher, he's getting stuff. And I love the shot coming up where he has like the gun under his sleeve. Looks really cool.
Oh yeah. And John Barathol, I mean, the more and more I see of this guy, I was already sold on him from The Walking Dead. He was definitely one of the standouts of the early seasons of The Walking Dead. But, oh my God, it looks like he just crushes it in this role.
And I love that.
Yeah, like you said, taking about military precision. Great shot right there.
I love that. That feels like a classic Punisher thing. You see the crime scene, just hear like a cop just going over like, oh yeah, these mobsters were taken out, and it's like amazingly so.
Yeah, right.
Like the bloody remains. It's such a classic Punisher bit.
Oh yeah, lots of fancy equipment there.
I see that right there. The big old thing with like the
Let me go back.
Grenade launcher at the bottom. Is just. No, not the belt. A little lower. There you go. You're right. You're there. Okay. You're there. That's his trademark weapon. Thing with the grenade launcher.
Okay, cool.
Basically, like a really dangerous gun. Usually,
I'm curious about these canister things. Are they like smoke bombs?
I suspect so. Yeah, he's hand making bombs of various varieties. There's a pipe bomb there. I assume there's some stun, some smokes. It's some sort of.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. So.
Hell's Kitchen's about to explode. Very cool line from Mahoney.
Yeah.
super creepy music as we see the Punisher walking.
Now, let me talk about this shot.
Just look at that face. Oh my god.
I want to mention something about this shot here with Bernthal. It's a lot of people many times always say, because one of the big vigilante movies to people and have always been Taxi Driver. Everyone always mentions Taxi Driver, and some people have said they want to see like De Niro. They would have loved to see a young De Niro play the Punisher. And oddly enough, in the movie Grudge Match, John Bernthal, he played Robert De Niro's son.
Oh, okay.
And he was really good in that movie. I know some people aren't crazy about it, but Bernthal gave a good performance as his son. Point is, I think it's kind of funny that he does in shots like these. He does look very similar to De Niro from Taxi.
He does. I can see it.
It's kind of funny. That's like kind of playing the unhinged. Again, he's like freshly coming off the death of his family here. I can
to
think
me, like just in the brief footage we've seen of the Punisher, what's so haunting about this performance is it's kind of a mix of just like the stone cold no emotion. And he's hiding that facade, and underneath you can see he's a guy that's about to just crack.
I think I would speculate that the Punisher is like his means are so violent because in the way the series seems to be playing out, I'd love to see him do this. Is that that trauma? He said that when they show the trauma, they will, like they did with Kingpin's backstory.
Oh,
when they show his trauma, it's going to be like the
episode
most terrifying.
8, folks. Episode 8. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, let's have a betting poll on that. I would love that to be the Netflix tradition of all the really big episodes or episode 8. I would love that to be a thing. The point is, when eventually we do kind of see the whole sequence play, we know it's going to be the most horrifying thing we've ever seen, but the most awful.
Yeah.
We're going to be crying. We're going to need inside-out tissues. We're going to like.
Oh, I will stock up on inside-out tissues for that.
Okay, my point is though, I'm figuring that moment it's going to build to that. It's like that moment was so traumatizing. That's why he thinks of the most violent ways to kill people. That's why it drove him a lot. Definitely drove him crazy. It made him very unhinged with how violent he is at the crimes because it was such a traumatizing event.
Bang. Explosion. And that is a very De Niro-like shot to me. That is just him just like, oh yeah, I just did that, motherfuckers.
You talking to me? I got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Okay, so Karen here is wondering if there's a correlation between if maybe, very Batman-like, if Daredevil possibly created the Punisher. Matt's like, there is no connection.
Yeah.
Never stop to think if Daredevil's actions could open the... Oh, okay. Yeah. What do you think? What the fuck do you think this is?
This very awesome way to get the skull in there, and I know I think they're going to do a similar thing with Daredevil. Is that by the end of the season he'll be put.
By the end of the season he'll have the skull. I agree. I think
it's the only way you reflect the idea of the first season Daredevil. It's like him finding his vigilante identity. By the end, he puts on a t-shirt just to communicate the fear and everything. Mm-hmm. Plus, they might do kind of a Batman thing because there's a lot of Batman pulls in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially the TV shows. By the way,
I did like that. I'm not sure if this is a comic book thing, but I love the way the Thomas Jane one did it, where it was a shirt with his son. It was kind of symbolic of his son.
Well, I mean, like they might do kind of like a Batman thing. It's in the comics where it's you have a symbol on your chest and basically there's Kevlar under there, so it targets the fire, which I think is that'd be kind of a neat thing to do, because I mean, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is pulling a lot from Batman lately with Agent Carter. So I just want
God. Well, I still haven't seen those 2 episodes, so.
All right.
Okay. But seriously, what do you think this is? Like physically, is it an X-ray?
Well, yeah, it's an X-ray. We know that much.
It looks very extraterrestrial, though. It kind of throws me off.
I don't know. I think it's just like a lighting thing. That's just the light was radiated on that.
It's part. Like, ooh, Punisher skull.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's she has records out that could be just her looking into the Frank Castle thing, so that could be actually his X-ray. I don't know.
Here we see a little bit of chemistry between Matt and Karen, if I can get back to it.
Yet another Archie season, because you have Matt Murdock and he's attracted. Well, Karen Page and she's attracting Matt Murdock and Foggy Nelson. Then Matt's will have something on the side with Elektra.
Right.
So,
and then maybe
and Claire, of course. So, man,
oh
it's
god,
like two Archies.
and then maybe Foggy has something on the side with what's her name, Marcy.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's just all relationship drama. It's just
Where are we going for dinner, sir?
Oh god. Okay.
It was kind of funny because Foggy has peppermint patty hair. Makes it even funnier. Okay, now we get the bloodshed.
This is probably like, I think the Foggy moments are probably my favorite moments of both trailers. They're so earnest. Blood is being shed, and you've donated more than your fair share.
Oh, before that moment happened, by the way, when Matt was just kind of, we had that awesome kind of crosshair shot. It was Matt questioning how long will Punisher operate until innocent people get caught in the crossfire, which is a valid question.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like the big question he's going to be looming over, like, I'm still in the right here. I mean, people will be, oh man, we love this guy. He's killing all the bad guys. He's not going to get up again. Hooray! But no, he's killing people, folks. What if an innocent person gets caught in the crossfire? They want their innocent, like, undercover cops. What's going to happen then? Bang, bang, bang. Dead. Funeral. Sad.
No good deed.
Now we got Claire. Claire and Foggy having a scene together amidst all this action.
And like I said, I think it's really, like, we'll get to, hold on, let me go back to Claire. Shit.
Just let it play. A lot of cool action stuff, right? It's going to keep, just let it go. Cool action here. She's mentioning, well, it's fine. We know the two of them are in the same.
Okay, it's Claire. There's a nice shot of the Punisher there. Okay, let's talk.
My point is, Claire and Foggy are having a scene together. It seems, which is kind of a first because she had like an off-screen scene with Foggy last time. I mentioned like, oh yeah, Claire stopped by and she passed you up. This guy's having a scene together. It's going to be her kind of, I think, ushering Foggy towards kind of the hopeful side. Hey, be on that side. Come on. Of the the
but
city.
I will mention the contrast that we get with Claire when we get to the Elektra trailer.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Anything that I missed there when I was
just cool Daredevil action, just him fighting guys with size, and then we have a Punisher's a really cool shot of Punisher. I'm gonna take care of the scum that killed. I'm gonna take care of the scum that killed my family.
All right, hold on. Let me. Okay, so cool Daredevil action, crime goes unpunished.
I'm gonna take care of the scum that killed my family. That's what's going on there.
Oh God, hold on.
There we had that awesome shot of Daredevil in the hallway. So again, we know anytime there's Daredevil in a hallway, something good's gonna happen.
And I love the look of the costume in this shot.
And you'll notice throughout the season, you might see some definite costume evolution, but right here,
I was kind of picking up on that a little bit when I saw the trailers.
Right here, there's a crack that was most likely delivered by the Punisher to the mask here, and later on, he has more of a red mask going on. So I mean, there might be definite costume evolution. I mean, by the end, I'm not saying this is certainty, but we might get the DD on the chest finally.
Finally, yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, we're gonna definitely get more red costumes going on, and with this shot too, again, him in a hallway. First of all, it brings back some good memories. But
I'm sure this is gonna be like a callback to the hallway fight.
But you can see how angry he is in the hallway. Again, that cool, like, little lighting effect. Got Foggy with some armed guards. Could be Kingpin connections. We don't know. Let's see. We got.
You hit him and they get back up. I hit him and they stay down.
Now, let me explain. I love the debate. The debate was my favorite part of this trailer.
Oh yeah.
If I may.
Go ahead.
People don't have to die. You hit him because this. First of all, this dialogue just fits so well with kind of the boxing background Matt Murdock has. I mean, it's hitting all the right buttons. All this dialogue here says, "You hit him, they get back up. I hit him, they stay down. Why? You're a half measure."
You're a half measure. No, I'm sorry. No more half measures, Matthew.
Then we get that awesome shot of Daredevil in red again, using that red lighting. Very cool.
I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with the visuals very well.
I know that. You have to click the video, not below the bar. There's the red shot. Very nice. And we get this great line here. The line here is just so fantastic when he says, I don't think you can finish the job. I think you're a coward. just when he says he calls the man without fear a coward, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
They're fighting some really cool stuff. Then we get a line that's very Batman-esque. It's pretty much pulled directly from the Killing Joke. You're one bad day away from being me.
Right.
Again, not untrue, but still directly from Batman. But then I love this bit there that just passed. The getting up shot, very reminiscent of the first trailer we got. And Matthew's coming home making a coffee or something, and then Elektra.
Hello, Matthew.
And you're much more attractive than the other one.
Oh God. Okay.
That's trailer one.
So, any kind of like overall thoughts on that trailer?
Overall thoughts, I'll admit, when I was watching for the first time, I got into it more during the ramp up of all the Punisher Daredevil dialogue. Of course, the visuals up to that point were like, okay, we're easing back into the universe. Then, like, the plot just started to kind of come at you with the whole Daredevil Punisher kind of ideology kind of battle, which is really neat.
Yeah, I thought overall it was definitely a good kind of. Barenthal, I definitely think, is going to be the most interesting new cast member this season. I think he's going to kill it as the Punisher. Of course, we already know he's getting a spin-off show. So,
well, there has been a development of that. It's not as in stone as we thought.
Oh, really?
But there's basically playing the wait and see. I think they're really willing to because everyone wants to make a Punisher show.
I think Iron Fist just got cast, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he did. He did just get cast. It's something Finn. I forgot his first name, but it's something. Finn, he's from, I want to say he's from Game of Thrones also.
He is from Game of Thrones, yeah, because Disney's just, that's what they do now.
Okay, but the point is, the news about with Punisher spinoff is that basically they're pulling the wait and see at it just to see how well he goes over, but they're pretty much like waiting to pull the trigger on the Punisher shows. Like, let's do it. Let's hit the mark to get things started. It's just, they're raring to go. They know it's a good idea. Just waiting for them to get like the fans love them sort of.
Okay. So now we get to the other main character, or the other new main character of Daredevil Season 2, Elektra, in the second part of the trailer.
So we start with Matt and Elektra. Did you miss me? It's very noir-esque.
You're the only person I could trust, Matthew. And then Matthew just delivers the most perfect line here. I love this line. Oh, sweetheart, you don't break into my house and then talk to me about trust.
Now, I love with that whole scene. I love how noir, a classic detective
movie. Totally.
Feels like she was, the beautiful girl walks into his office and says, "Come on, don't you think you can trust me, sweetheart? You don't break into my apartment and then talk to me about trust."
Oh, I love it.
It feels so great. And again, the chemistry. First of all, the chemistry. I mean, she looks very, very beautiful, very similar to kind of the John Romita. Basically, the John Romita Elektra was really great look, but she had really ridiculously long hair.
Right.
I mean, like ridiculous. I'm talking like Spawn cape hair. That's what she had. She had Spawn cape hair.
Oh god.
But aside from that, she was very beautiful, living up to the legend that Foggy was laying out for us in the first season. Oh, that Greek girl, remember? I mean, again, so far I'm liking. I'm in it for Elektra. I want to see how Elektra plays out here. She could be very interesting.
It definitely seems like she'll be a major focal point as well, and like we said, there's definitely going to be like romantic intrigue all over the fucking place this season. It seems.
Of course, maybe we'll get a Calendar Girl sequence. Okay, anyway. She mentions, you fight better than anyone I know, which kind of establishes that Matt Murdock definitely has a reputation because he was trained by Stick of all people, which means he has really great hand ninja training on his belt. Plus, he has his heightened senses make him very, very useful too, in terms of his why he's so good at his hand training. And
as we're about to see, having training against hand ninjas is going to come in very big handy soon.
Yep. So Elektra, she's kind of undercover. I have information the Yakuza never left.
This was a big kind of reveal for me, BlueDragonFive. I was kind of blown away by this whole thing.
We didn't really get.
Of course, the Yakuza was kind of like in the background in season 1.
Yeah.
Definitely the most memorable one was Nobu. His name?
Nobu was a hand ninja, but he was kind of like the facilitary between the two groups.
Right. Okay.
Like I assume his men were probably Yakuza. Well, that's the thing. I mean, he was going. I think they killed some Yakuza guys in that scene. So it was Nobu and his men. I'm sorry, when Stick was killing Yakuza guys, maybe that was it. But then again, we could assume they were easily hand guys. We don't know. Point is,
Okay.
Matt's saying that's impossible. I drove them out. This could be like just assumingly when Nobu left, they left, or just it was something that happened like in the midst of all the stuff before the season started. It says, oh no, they hibernated while you took out all their enemies. Very astute observation. A really good plan on the Yakuza's part. I'm gonna get some awesome motorcycle shots. It feels very cool, very Tokyo-esque, very nice.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Dogs of Hell. Do we have any connection to that? I definitely picked up on that.
Just lots of just like chaos kind of happening in the streets.
Okay.
Just kind of like kind of a bar fight sort of situation.
Looks like a very, very dangerous bar.
Yeah, I want to say that might be a reference to Deuce the Devil Dog, but I mean Deuce was much friendlier than that.
Oh god.
So I don't really. Again, Dogs of Hell is probably a reference to something from the Daredevil comics, but I'm not quite sure off the top of my head. Okay, let's see. So then we get this awesome sequence that's about to transpire. You get to see them saying, okay, well, we team up, no killing.
Uh-huh.
Then we get this.
Oh, I love this. I love this setup right here.
Oh, yeah. Now, by the way, I love Elektra's outfit, by the way. Some people are not. Some people need to be sold and like to do with the first Daredevil suit. But me, I'm loving this. It feels very kind of practical, very, practical for an assassin. She's like,
it's not really a costume. It's more just like you said, just a practical, like.
Yeah.
Again,
for her, she doesn't need like the more red wouldn't kill her, but this works fine though.
Totally. And I love the chemistry here. Like they just take out a bunch of guys, and the first thing she says is, "Hungry."
No, they're the red Daredevil eyes.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you look there, that's an all red mask. See?
Right.
So he's getting more comics there. So I think it's going to start with the mask. Then as more parts need to be replaced, we're going to get more red on there.
Oh, this is cool. This is cool.
But yeah, I'm just saying, I love the kind of chemistry they have with Elektra there, and that hungry line is just so fantastic. Like, oh my god, the Elektra's going to be fun. Okay, let's see. So Foggy's now fearful that he'll go up the stairs to Matt's apartment one day, and he'll be dead in his living room.
Oh yeah, which is legit fear. I'm really looking forward to the Foggy dynamic this season. I hope they don't ham-fist it too much, but I like the fact that it's out in the open now.
Part of me
how Foggy's going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, part of me hopes this shot right here will be in the first episode. Oh hey Matt, you're near death. Come on, do you have any milk? Come on. Something like that of like, oh, hey, it's like a regular occurrence of, oh, hey, Matt, what you doing? I'm not bleeding half to death. Okay, wait.
Right.
Okay, so we see, it looks like Foggy's trying to make a statement. I'm going to throw this costume away for you. No, look, I'm done apologizing for who I am. And he walks out on Foggy, as we're about to say.
This is an awesome little shot of the Punisher right here.
And there's the gun I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
I'm done apologizing for who I am, and he walks out on him, which is like, and apparently Foggy's been hurt at some point during things. No justice without vengeance, which I'm pretty sure was a line from the first season. I get some cool. There's a moment with Claire that happened.
Okay, yeah, there's a moment with Claire, and she's like, "This isn't your city anymore."
So that could either be at the beginning of the season of her just saying like, of her saying, "Well, look, you think you have everything in hand, but this Punisher guy, he's kind of building his own following here. I mean, you need to take this guy out, or you need to do something. It's not your city anymore; it's his city, or it's the Hand city. So again, it could be Punisher at the beginning, it could be Hand towards the end, like Foggy. Basically, her trying to give Foggy a pep talk at the beginning of like, everything's going great. You should believe in Matt Murray. Then by the end, it's like, no, everything's going to heck. This isn't your city anymore. You deluded fool. What was I ever thinking for loving you? I'm just kidding. Or the second half of that, I may be exaggerating. Bear in mind. Second, the other flip side of that could be like, she's all gloom and doom in the beginning, and then by the end, it's like, oh yeah, I was wrong for thinking. Foggy, believe me. You gotta get on board with this guy. He's the winning ticket.
Okay. Awesome, John Barenthal running shot.
And he's grabbing one of his billy clubs, by the way.
This actually reminds me of the opening scene of the Ben Affleck Daredevil, where he crashes through the ceiling. No redemption without sacrifice.
Red mask.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of exclusions.
I think that's probably outside of the Hell Dog bar or whatever it's called.
That would make sense.
A battle has begun, Matthew.
So I love.
Huh?
I love that you're that far into it and you think, okay, that's everything. Then just the hand ninjas.
Right, right.
So we have Stick mentioning that they call themselves the Hands. The first time
By the
that's
way,
actually.
good to know that Stick's officially coming back. I'm not sure if that was confirmed yet or not.
Well, I assume with the hand we would see Stick again. It's been set up. You know, he has. There's like he's setting him up for a mission. Get the dramatic unmasking of a hand ninja, perhaps like the big scarred back guy from the first season.
Right.
Right there.
There we go.
Unmasking. We don't see who's in this shot's awesome. We get the name of whatever the hand's playing. It's called The Rising. The Rising is coming, Tiki.
Why does this remind me of The Dark Knight Rises?
Oh, would you stop? Can't we just enjoy a big gaping hole without you bringing up things?
Well, let me think of Bates Motel when I think of big gaping holes.
You know, that's I want to point. That sounds very negative out of context. You might want to just, you know, I know you're thinking of the pit, but still, let's just clarify for the people.
You're putting words into my mouth now.
Anyway, it's a big window crash, right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of action going on. Big hand battles going on this season, and ends with. We also see in the midst of all this cool action. Well, before this last part. With
what's good?
Oh, it's just like this is the midair catch, right?
Oh, the midair catch, yeah.
So before that, I go look a little earlier, amidst all the action. Just a little more.
Little back.
Yeah, a little back, just a little back. Okay, just let that play. Just let it play. So it's amidst all this action, we get to see Matt and Elektra also getting pretty hot and heavy.
Really? You're making me like search out a small clip of Matt and Elektra getting on heavy?
If you let it play, then that would have communicated a lot better, except for you pausing every 5 seconds, cutting off my point.
All right, there we go. Matt and Elektra, all hot and heavy. You happy?
Let's let it play to the last cool bit of the trailer. See, that's what I mean. I was going for that shot, but thanks for not being there.
Okay.
Okay, so then we have the point is the trailer ended with a really awesome midair save, and then of course there's a little more here.
Have you been working out, by the way?
Been working out. I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Oh yeah, very fun dynamic. These two. Okay, I will go ahead and turn it off a screen share. So those were kind of like overall, I feel like those gave us a good idea of what to expect for both Punisher and Elektra. I think they were a little more vague on Elektra. With Elektra, they were just like, oh, they're going to have good chemistry, and, you know, and the Yakuza is definitely going to be involved in the hand ninjas. But with Punisher, I definitely think that, like you said, the Punisher is going to become like the mirror image of Matt's arc in season 1, only darker. And I definitely think that's what they set up with this trailer.
Yeah, you know, it's like Punisher's going to represent kind of this violent extreme and kind of like a potential where Matt's kind of currently at and where he's heading, where Elektra's going to represent the past and be like, you know, don't hesitate about who you are, about what your instincts are. Don't hesitate thinking about things. And she'll be kind of like that bad. She'll be kind of the bad influence. She'll be the devil on the shoulder. Actually, they're both kind of devils on the shoulder when you think about it. Two devils on the devil's shoulder. Think about it. It's like it's a devil. That's where he gets the DDs from.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me throw a few it's broad spectrum things out real quick. Just again,
Sure.
Frank Castle. So like I was saying earlier, just kind of flesh out a little bit. So I think Castle's family was killed during season 1. You know, he's grieving. You know, he hears like all this stuff the masked man stirring up that kind of helps him direct his anger and revenge into vigilantism, you know, for a greater cause, which means you might have a little bit of reverence for Daredevil right off the bat of like, you know, I'm obviously not going to kill you because you're just trying to do the same thing I'm doing, but you know, we have to agree to disagree here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be kind of like a respectable rivalry at first, I think, that turns ugly.
Yeah, and again, I think like the trauma has made his method just so extra violent, where he's just so desensitized to everything, and kind of think about it because the trauma we're going to see is going to be so visually expressed so excellently. I'm hoping. I think Karen's going to be putting the idea out there that, you know, Daredevil, as Ed said, he inspired the Punisher, which will make Matt evaluate his cause. And I think on the flip side of that, it will be Foggy will also put that in perspective, that he started this and he will eventually. I'm saying I think Foggy will eventually come around after they split up for a while, and maybe he's like going to Claire, going to a bunch of people. He's like mulling things over, saying, maybe he eventually comes back, and Matt, when he has low point, he says, look, you may have started this guy, but you got to finish him like a hero. I mean, it's no killing, but still you got to put an end to what he's doing.
Right, for sure. So I guess the big question is with Kingpin. Is Kingpin going to be in the season at all?
Well, real quick, before Kingpin, I want to mention my favorite my favorite thing about this, one of my favorite things from Daredevil meeting Punisher in the comics that's in this season. One of the big famous scenes from the comics, and that's in this season, at least they're going to draw a reference. I'm not saying they're going to do it verbatim, but it's been in the marketing. It's been in like there been like a picture of it in a magazine, and I think we get a little glimpse of it in the trailer. It goes by real quick. It's the famous chain scene.
Oh, yeah.
This scene is basically the way it goes in the comics. Just to give you an idea, it's like a scene. It's Daredevil and Punisher go around the issue. They're just having like their whole debate of like, don't kill him, no. And basically at some point Punisher knocks Daredevil out. He wakes up, he's chained to something. On top of a building, he's chained to something. And he has a gun duct taped to his hand. And the Punisher's like said, I'm going to kill these two mob guys across the way. And your only way you're going to stop me is if you pull the trigger. And the point is, Daredevil is to a point where he just basically Punisher kind of breaks Daredevil, and he actually pulls the trigger. And there's no firing pin though. He says, "I took the firing pin out." Then he shoots both of them. And just basically Punisher breaks Daredevil in that moment of like, yeah, you were willing to kill me, weren't you, to save others? And I'm just saying, like, they can homage. The point is, like, they're in the marketing things. You had this great bit where, like, he's chained to a wall, and he hears all the chaos and Punisher shooting people and everything all around, but he can't move. I'm not saying they're going to do that verbatim, but if when they have that chain scene, they're having their debate and him being chained, I think it's going to remind me of that. I think it's going to be excellent. I can't wait for that scene.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing I'm excited for this season. Can't wait for that scene.
Yeah, I saw the 15-second teaser they put on Facebook using that clip, and it definitely intrigued me. I love how visually striking it is. I don't have the connection to the comics that you do, but still, I was impressed by it.
But I'll bet you one thing. I'll bet you that's going to be their big episode 8 moment. That's going to be like kind of ending their big episode 8 thing. But the whole episode will be about. Of
course, with the flashback as well.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying here's how you're going to lay that one out. It's going to be primarily Punisher flashbacks to understand his side of the argument. And at the end of it, it's going to be Daredevil tracking him. It's going to be the main story. And the end of it's going to be the two of them having their big philosophical debate and chaining him up and showing him what it's like. See what you're hearing right now? This is what I hear every time I close my eyes.
Okay, I can see that.
So that sort of thing, something like that. You're a coward. I respect you, but you need to stay out of my way or else you will get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. I think that's going to be episode 8. That's what I'm predicting.
All right.
Now getting Matt to his low point, and from that point forward, it's going to be kind of building him back up for them. Let me transition to us. I think I have a way to get us to the Kingpin.
Okay, well, I trust you.
So I think the information about his mother may comfort him at his low point. Kind of reflecting on his past, which kind of in correlation with the Elektra stuff, just kind of remembering kind of some simpler times.
Right.
Stick will probably return to inform Matt of the big evil hand plot.
Do you think that Stick will have more than a 1-episode arc this season? Do you think he's going to be around a bit more?
Yeah, but like a few episodes. Like when the hand stuff cranks up, like it's only supposed to be throughout like the whole season. But I mean, when the
I'm not saying that, but I think like you were saying, when the hand stuff does crank up, I expect him to be around for at least 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, I'd say that too. 2 or 3 episodes. He'll probably be around. He's preparing for this thing ever since. And there was that big tease at the end of the Black Sky episode where he mentioned, "Is he ready?" He says, "Honestly, I have no idea." And again, this big event, which could basically be like a hand war breaking out in Hell's Kitchen, it's going to be called The Rising. That's what the official name we got there. So finally, that's going to be the big thing that's been teased in the first season. I don't know if it's going to explain what Black Sky was, or if it's going to. They're definitely going to reference what Black Sky was, I'm sure.
Right.
And my guess at Black Skies, my vague guess, is that it might have been like kind of a mystical dark chi, which might connect to Iron Fist a little bit. Of like, it kills. Maybe it's like a dark chi energy that kills the unworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And could be hints at Iron Fist and his use of chi, perhaps. Then again, you have the Chinese versus Japanese on that one, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
So So yeah, so the Kingpin. I have a theory for the Kingpin. Here's my big theory for this season. This would be like my way. Here's my ultimate way to work in the Kingpin. I'd love to see.
Shoot.
It's funny you use that. So I'm thinking the first part of this season is Punisher, setting up the Punisher and doing a lot of stuff with him, and maybe like getting to that chain moment.
Okay.
Second part is going to be most of our hand stuff. If anything, the hand stuff will just it'll be introduced towards the tail end of the Punisher stuff, but it kind of be meaty in the center of the season. I'm thinking somehow, I don't know how with the 13 episodes, how they would fit this in, but they communicate a lot of story in their 55 minutes. You know this.
Oh yeah.
Third act, third part of this series, and is what I'm looking forward to if they do this. Because I'm saying with the Punisher, you introduce the Punisher going after mobsters, you have to think. You must think that at some point he's going to go after the Kingpin in prison. So I'm thinking third part of the season, the big last kind of finale, like 3-part episode thing perhaps, is going to be Punisher trying to kill the Kingpin in prison, and Daredevil has to stop it, which of course is
okay, I like that.
And that's putting the whole arc of the first season into perspective.
Right.
Contemplating killing the Kingpin. That's going to be the big debate they had finally culminating. And well, you know more than anyone this guy deserves it. Perhaps the Kingpin is the one who orchestrated his family's death, like to prove a point, to show a message.
So do we? Okay, yeah. I think that I think you'd be on something there for sure. I think that'd be a great way to work Kingpin into the story.
Now, how this resolves itself, I can only assume Kingpin will not die, but how it's going to lead Punisher versus Daredevil, I have no idea. But think about the debate that comes from there of like, he killed he's responsible for my family being, whether he hired an assassin, perhaps Bullseye, to kill them.
Oh.
Or not. Again, it could have been just going after Kingpin. Like, let's say he goes after Kingpin. They have Daredevil in a position where he has to save his enemy and stop him. We get some fun dialogue between Kingpin and Daredevil, perhaps. They're just eating away at Daredevil, like, oh, I hate saving this guy so much. And again, it could potentially lead to Punisher and Daredevil facing off against the Trigger Man behind the castle's murderer, who was hired by the Kingpin. Bullseye, who we've seen was definitely one of his top assassins in season 1 when he blew up half of Hell's Kitchen.
Mm.
And it could be that, or like Fisk renegotiating. Not renegotiating. Like he's basically said, "Yeah, I'm going to kill this guy." He says, "Why would you want to kill me when I can give you the man that killed your family? Why not save me for dessert, so to speak?"
Do you think that Kingpin is going to be in it at all until we get to this arc? Do you think we're going to see little snippets of him?
It's either we're going to get little snippets of him and he'll be teased at the end of it, or they're going to smartly, as I said, I love to see, they set him up at the beginning and maybe like once more in the middle of it, then he's the big thing at the end, just to kind of, you have the breadcrumbs like, oh yeah, King's been around.
right, okay.
Or it could just be like you're forgotten about him long enough because you're blown away by these two other amazing stories. Like, wait a minute, who was the most impressive part of the first season? Oh my God!
Exactly.
And then you have the Punisher there, and again, it could be just him saving him or he working Bullseye. The big question I think for the season is like towards the end is like, are you going to pull out the big gun that is Bullseye or not? Because Bullseye is a huge thing with Daredevil.
I honestly, if I were to make a prediction, I'd say Bullseye they're going to save for season 3.
That's fair, because here's
just because there's so much else going on at the table. There's so many balls up in the air right now.
Yeah, like also like if you in terms of like how Bullseye would be working the story, it could be like you have your little Vanessa cameo of like he retaliates against the attempted assault on him by the Punisher by having.
I was going to ask about Vanessa too.
Like he could like make a phone call to Vanessa and she would like call in Bullseye to kill the Punisher and Daredevil because he had made an attempt on the man I love his life. So I'm gonna have him. I'm gonna have Bullseye kill both of these morons. But again, the other option would be like a Kingpin teaser at the end of the season, just setting up with maybe like setting up the idea that the Punisher's a result of the Kingpin, perhaps, and like one of his operations working his way up the Kingpin.
Right.
But a broad spectrum thing going for like seasons wise, I'm just saying the arc of a season. Like third season could be like the Death of Elektra season, which definitely needs Bullseye in it.
And that definitely needs to happen on this show for sure. Now that they're going this far into it.
Yeah. Fourth season could be the death of Karen Page.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And fifth season could be Daredevil at complete wit's end of Kingpin's out and everyone knows he's Daredevil, and this stuff happened in the comics. Yeah, Kingpin's out, everyone knows he's Daredevil. He's lost Karen, he's lost Elektra. Like Foggy's like, I don't know what to do. I can't save him. He's nuts. He's Daredevil. Maybe getting to the point where he's killing people just like he's completely lost it. I'm just saying, there's some much like 5. I could imagine season 5 could just be Daredevil at like the darkest you've ever seen. Like, oh my, like he just needs a reboot, completely. Not reboot actually. I'm just saying like he needs to reevaluate how he does things completely to a new thing for season 6. That's just a very broad spectrum.
But dialing it back a little, I definitely can see Kingpin kind of being treated as a rare treat in season 2, and then coming back full form in season 3.
Absolutely.
And going back to the Vanessa a little bit, do you think we'll see any more of her besides just a cameo here and there?
Well, again, if he's in prison, I would suspect Vanessa would somehow like do a sneaky thing where she's going to visit him in prison, like yeah, could be nice.
Right. Okay.
Also, like you work in the future seasons, you could work in Son of the Kingpin. Yeah, right. Have a son in the comics, and maybe it's like she comes back and says, "Vanessa, why would you risk coming back? I sent you away for your own safety. Why on earth would you risk coming back? Because I'm having your child."
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Can you imagine that moment? And that's the reason Kingpin wants to escape. And the months his escape, then it's Punisher going after him. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Okay. I guess really quick kind of bullet point things. Do we think we'll see Turk Barrett at all?
You know how I enjoy Turk Barrett very much, so I would love it if he comes. I'm saying that's how you could open the season and just say, oh, it's Daryl. He's regular guys, regular informant. I'm saying going up against the Punisher, there's a definite chance we're going to have Turk Barrett in there because he'd be kind of the informant there. Big hopes, 2 characters I do not want to see get killed. I don't want to see Turk Barrett get killed. Obviously, with Punisher in, you gotta be worried about your guys in that case because you don't want your villains to be killed off like flies.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see the other character. Brent Mahoney, I like him. I don't want him to die either because cops get caught in crossfire.
I think Mahoney's going to die sometime during the Defenders.
Okay, it makes sense. One more thing though, I mean, it's kind of a spoiler for Jessica Jones if you haven't seen it, folks. But it's not. Basically, it's been out for months, right? I'm not
yeah, you're fine. Go for it.
So Clemens, the detective in Jessica Jones, in the comics, he was like one of the Punisher Task Force guys. Now, depending what the timeline is for this, if they kind of set that up, they could have him in there as like a guy going after the Punisher, like trying to bring him down. But then again, you don't want to put too much stock in that. Again, it's unclear how they're going to work at the timelines. Like it's like the Moore movies, like how the Incredible Hulk fits in Iron Man 2. It's kind of like that thing. You don't want to think too hard about it, so they might just kind of avoid that. Wait a minute, I saw Jessica Jones next, and that guy died. How is he going to be in here?
Right.
What year is this?
Oh, God. Okay, anything for Karen besides just kind of generally being caught in a love triangle and whatnot?
Again, if I think going forward they're going to do the death of Karen Page story again. Is it really? If Bullseye enters, it's a big. Let me address 2 things. This is just with Elektra and Karen Page with this. Is that if they introduce Bullseye this season, if they do, that's going to be a big question of are they going to try to squeeze in a last-minute death of those 2 characters through Bullseye because he's responsible for both their deaths.
I definitely think I would like Bullseye is a question mark. Like I could see him coming in at the end. I think if they're going to do the death of Elektra storyline, I think they'd save that for season 3.
Exactly, which brings me to my biggest fear for this season. Much as high as I am on this season, like, man, this season's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. What in the world could we ever doubt? Here's the big issue, folks. This is the serious issue we got to consider going into. The one fear I think we all share. This is all great stuff we're getting, but could it be too much? Because in theory, you get a whole season out of Punisher, you get a whole season out of Elektra. You could, in theory.
I don't necessarily think it's going to be too much.
I'm fearful that it might be. I'm a little fearful it might be too much. I don't know. It's 2 big stories, and you definitely could get mileage. And the show's done so well with kind of an economic story, with the one main story, get the Kingpin, and it's done so well with that 13 episodes. This is going to be 2 big stories. Plus, again, if they work in kind of a last-minute Kingpin thing, there's yet another thing you could have in there, a little Kingpin button. I'm just saying they're very economic and they know how to tell a good story. I have faith in them. They're gonna do something we've never seen before. I'm still a little worried, and I think it's a valid concern that there might be a little too much good stuff. We might get a little not overexposed, not desensitized, but overloaded with too much awesome.
I hear you. Oversaturated.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, it sounds like it's like I'll go
words.
No, but seriously, see what I mean? I'm not crazy, right? So it's we might be a little. They could get lost in the scuffle, all the really cool stuff that's going on that we might kind of battle between.
I mean, honestly, I think to tell you the truth, I think that I'm really I think they can do it. I think they can do it. I hear what you're saying.
Of course,
I hear
they can do it. We know they can do it. It's just it's still a big thing. It's a really big thing to take over, though. To take on.
But I think that maybe the Punisher is going to be a one-season arc in the Daredevil show and then move on to his own thing. Well, I think Elektra will be kind of more sprinkled throughout the season and then kind of have a bigger arc in season 3. That's how I think they're going to do it.
The Rising sounds like a big deal, though. I don't know. The Rising, it was a big thing. It's been hyped for the first season. That sounds like it could be if they split it down the middle half and half, then definitely it could be some stuff in there. But point is, I have all the faith in the world in these storytellers. But bear in mind, another thing to consider is they put on perspective, the showrunner left from this show. So the original showrunner is no longer working on this season.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying that's going to spell doom for anything, because there's very talented people working on this show. I'm just saying there's always
showrunner. Isn't that showrunner actually doing Pacific Rim 2? Is that the same showrunner?
I believe so.
Okay, cool.
I'm just saying, bear in mind, folks. I haven't read any reviews or anything. I just skimmed one, I guess, a non-spoiler one. I skimmed it just saying it was good. They said, it's good, it's impressive, and they're taking risks. But there is also a chance it could be like Jessica Jones in that it's great, but it may not be as flawless as the first season of Daredevil, which is something to prepare for, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but still is something to consider.
All right, so I think that's a good place to end it, unless you have anything else to add.
Forget my negativity. I'm just saying it's there to consider, and it's something to keep in perspective. Sure. I mean, this show is doing stuff that, again, the first season of Daredevil is the best live action superhero show you'll ever see up to this point. I like Jessica Jones, but Daredevil takes the cake on that. But it's still really going to be hard to top, and it's like the second product syndrome for Daredevil. It's that it could be fantastic, but there's a lot of hype on it this time around. It's question.
I think I'm a little higher on it than you. I think I see where your concern is, but for me, I'm just so stoked to see Bernthal as the Punisher. I don't necessarily think Elektra is going to overshadow anything. I honestly have a feeling that she's going to be kind of a secondary character compared to the Punisher. That's just my gut instinct. Like I said, that's not to say she's not going to be important. I just think they're definitely going to spread her stuff out throughout a couple of seasons.
I mean, look, I'm high on. I'm just addressing a realistic concern that could definitely be like a thing where we're all of us are kind of focused on the great stuff, which I'm there for you. But I don't know. I'm just saying it's something that no one's really talking about. I think should be brought up. That's all. I mean, I'm very high on this. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Okay. So, any final things to add?
I'm looking forward to it, and again, Netflix has done so well with the Marvel Netflix series. I mean, just keep them coming. If not, just monthly. It'd be great if they delivered the monthly somehow. With that impossibility if they were monthly, but
yeah. Except if that was the case, there's no way we could podcast about all that. Don't even think about it. Okay, so with that in mind, I guess Daredevil comes out in just a few weeks, so we will be back. Hopefully we can get through all of Jessica Jones. That's kind of like we're laying down the train tracks as the train is coming at full speed with that one, but hopefully we'll be able to get there. In the meantime, you embarrassed me in front of her.
Bang.
You embarrassed me in front of her.